Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to try and cut through some of the noise around a topic that's, well, always in the headlines and often really misunderstood: immigration.
Absolutely.
It's just a landscape filled with myths, assumptions.
Yeah.
It feels incredibly easy to get lost in all the misinformation out there.
Hmm.
So, our mission for this deep dive is to unpack why some of these common beliefs seem to stick and, how the actual facts paint a very different picture when you look closely.
And that's so important because accurate information when we're talking about immigration processes or even just public understanding, it isn't just like helpful, it's absolutely critical.
Right.
A lot of deeply held beliefs are, frankly, pretty far from the truth. Understanding the real facts is the only way to get clarity and for people to make informed decisions. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with maybe the biggest one, the elephant in the room that, so many people seem to worry about. This idea that immigrants just arrive to take jobs from citizens. It's such a common concern. What does the evidence actually show?
Yeah, it's persistent, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it has power because it really taps into economic anxieties people feel.
Sure, makes sense.
But, well, the studies consistently show something quite different. Immigrants often fill critical labor shortages, jobs that native-born workers maybe aren't applying for in the same numbers.
Okay.
They start new businesses at higher rates, actually creating jobs, and they contribute through skills through consumer demand.
Yeah.
It's quite multifaceted.
So it's not just displacing people.
No, not
Mm.
typically.
Hmm.
Organizations like the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine have done extensive research. They consistently find this net positive impact on long-run economic growth. It's more about expanding the economy.
Right.
Think about a new immigrant starting a business. That business needs employees, it needs suppliers, it needs customers. That ripples out and creates opportunities.
So a contributor, not just a taker. That shifts the perspective.
Okay, sticking with misconceptions. Another area that seems rife with them is how people actually get immigration status. Like the idea that marrying a U.S. citizen is basically an automatic, instant green card.
Ah, yes. That was very
I
popular.
hear it all the time.
And while marriage to a citizen is a recognized path to a green card, it is absolutely not instant or automatic, not even close.
Okay, so what does it involve then?
Well, it's a really rigorous process. We're talking multiple steps, tons of documentation, very thorough background checks, interviews.
Interviews, plural.
Often,
Yeah.
yes, especially the marriage-based interview. And the whole thing can take many months, sometimes honestly years. It depends on the specifics, like where the applicant is living. USCIS, that's U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, they vet these applications very carefully.
To make sure the marriage is real. Exactly.
Yeah.
They need to be convinced it's a legitimate relationship, not just something entered into for the green card. They want proof you've built a life together, shared finances, maybe leases or property, photos, affidavits from friends and family. It's quite in-depth.
Wow, so definitely no instant button there.
Not at all.
Okay, and speaking of sort of dangerous assumptions, what about the idea that you can just overstay your visa and, eventually it'll all work out? Like, it's not a big deal.
Oof, that is a really dangerous myth to believe.
Yeah.
Overstaying a visa has serious, serious consequences, long-lasting ones.
So sad.
It leads to what's officially termed unlawful presence. Accruing unlawful presence triggers bars from re-entering the U.S. potentially for 3 years, 10 years, or even permanently, depending on how long the overstay was.
Permanently. Wow.
Yes. And we see cases where people just didn't realize how severe it is. It makes you ineligible for future visas, for changing your status later. It can block you from coming back for anything, tourism, work, even just visiting family for a very long time.
So it's critical to follow the terms.
Absolutely critical. Always adhere to your visa dates, and if you need to stay longer, you must seek legal extensions or a change of status before your current status expires. Don't wait.
That's a stark warning. It's genuinely striking how these ideas get so ingrained, isn't it? Even when the reality is so different.
It really shows the power of narrative, sometimes over fact.
Yeah. Okay, finally, let's tackle one more really broad generalization. All immigrants are undocumented or illegal. We hear variations of that constantly.
Right, and that's just flat out false.
Yeah.
Categorically untrue.
So what's the reality?
The vast majority of immigrants living in the U.S., or really any country, are there legally. The term immigrant itself just means someone who moved from one country to another to live.
It's a broad term.
Very broad. And within that, there's a whole spectrum of legal statuses. Many are here on temporary visas, student visas, work visas like H-1Bs, tourist visas. Then you have lawful permanent residents who hold green cards. And of course, many immigrants eventually become naturalized citizens.
So undocumented is just one specific category and not the largest one by far.
Exactly. It's crucial to distinguish between these different statuses. Lumping everyone together is inaccurate and misleading.
So wrapping this up, our deep dive today, it really hammers home the power of getting accurate information, doesn't it? Dispelling these kinds of widespread myths about immigration seems key.
Hmm.
Understanding the actual facts, the processes, the data, it really reshapes how you might look at a complex and often, let's face it, emotionally charged topic.
Absolutely. And that's the takeaway, really. For you listening, always, always try to seek out reliable, verifiable information. Go to official sources like the government websites uscis.gov, the Department of State, or consult with reputable immigration lawyers if you have specific questions. Don't rely on hearsay or, something you saw on social media.
Good advice.
And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. What other complex areas of society, big issues we talk about, might be hiding similar deep-seated myths? Myths just waiting to be unpacked with some solid facts.